When was the last time you played just a solo acoustic thing like that?
God, it was ages ago. I have done quite a bit of it though.
Yeah.
It's so monumentally surreal anyway, being here and being so sort of tripped out with fatigue that it doesn't really matter what happens. And I think that attitude worked really because I managed to play them all right. Sorrow's Army, Sorrow's Army, please. Sorrow's Army, Sorrow's Army, please. I've been into John Martin and David Graham and stuff like that for quite a while, and I just thought instead of moaning that I could never be able to make music like that, I would have a go. And I just always thought on rock records, playing an acoustic guitar rhythmically, you know, with a plectrum was a bit of a chore.
Yeah.
Sorrow's Army, Sorrow's Army band, Sorrow's Army, Sorrow's Army band. Sees the darkness and prays for painless end. Drag your bodies homewards, mend your broken minds. There's another way to time to say bye-bye, 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 bye-bye.
But it's a lead instrument, there's something...
With the picking thing and everything, it becomes something of much, it's a whole different land, and it's a better land. My music started to go into two piles, like there was the whiny post-punk, chugga, chugga, chugga,
right.
And then there was this other stuff that was coming out of that side, so I decided to just collect it together and make an album of that stuff, and the story came out of having to put them in some sort of order. Are you even real? I don't know which way to go when I hear you everywhere. There's a melody in every line and sorrow in these eyes of mine. If a diamond hangs in every tree and a life is lost for every leaf, will the birds still sing? I listened just this morning, this is what I heard. An angel's wings in cool night air, like a blackbird in the chapel, a starling in the moonlight fair, wings beating up a gale. In the morning, in the morning, in the morning, ooh, in the morning.
So there is like kind of like a theme running through the
Yeah,
record.
it's a story, yeah.
What's like, tell us a bit about it without kind of giving, you know, the last page away kind of thing.
It's about a story of a man gets born and has the kind of usual, if a little more than usual, traumatic childhood, adolescence, etc. Gets married, goes to war, experiences the horrors of war, is killed during Sorrow's Army, then brought back to life in the next song by a she-spirit who's based loosely on Medea, who comes from the Caspian Sea. And but he is beholden to her forever, so when he goes back home to his wife, everything is a bit messed up. So the second half of the album is all messed up until he dies in a sinking, and gets buried in a sinking church. You're a part of the air, then you shake the whole field with your golden hair and your golden shield. I don't know which way to go when I hear you everywhere. There's a melody in every line and a of sorrow in these eyes of mine. If a diamond hangs in every tree, and life is lost for every leaf, can the birds still sing? I listened just this morning. This is what I heard. Things have to be explained so much. You know, I went to art school. You have to explain your every stroke, your every placement of objects. You have to explain your albums, what they mean, why they're called that, what's this, what's the single, why, you know, why, tell me, yeah. It's like, oh man, people need...
Interviews, basically.
Yeah, it's like, people need so much nannying. It's like, make up your own mind. What's happened to people's imagination? And it's like, I don't want to be too much of a tour guide with the album and say, look, this is the story. Yeah, you can loosely throw it together. But it's pretty vague. You can dig each track without having to know what the next bit of the story is. You know, I think just because you're a musician, it doesn't mean that... It's like I have to read my lyrics. It doesn't mean that I've got the best memory in the world because I can write songs. And it doesn't mean that you're great at performing them or you're socially, you know, megally suave as a human being, you know. And I'm very self-conscious and pretty shy. And most people have learned their guitars and things in the privacy of their bedroom, listening to records and thinking about girls' love and magic. And they're not particularly socially apt people, I suppose, when they get out there. So it makes sense that musicians aren't going to be the best at coping with the realities, the promotion, the interviews and the travel, sitting next to big farting men on 747s. There's a world where we can disappear to our own little stratosphere. See the stars up in heaven, baby. They belong to me. You and me are gonna learn to fly. Little pathways across the sky. There's nothing here that could hold you, baby. Come along with me. The rain falls down, such a familiar sound. I'm on the ground, wet, like the first time we met. And this Slint album, bloody hell, this 10-inch changed my life, for fuck's sake. Me listening to all this stuff came about really from hanging around with Huggy Bear in the 90s, and Joe got me into Spiderland and their album and some Pavement and all sorts of other stuff. And you know, I owe a lot to them as friends. And
do you ever feel you've been responsible for kind of having the same role in someone else's life?
Well, maybe. I suppose we all learn stuff and then exploit it in a way or share it out. It was good in those days because I found that I was getting inspired by female musicians, and I made no secret of it. And I think in a way that was inspiring for other, you know, some girls just think they're not good enough or they're not going to really make it, so why bother? And boys too. Oh, said you suddenly, can you see what is? Oh, did you got to see the dead breeze? Oh, what you want from me? I'm a dollar dear. Oh, you gotta see the dead dear. Child, just settle down, lest he comes back. Oh, you gotta see dead right. No, he ain't coming back. He's stretching on the rack. Oh, you wanna see the dead man. And in a way, I think some Smog albums inspired me to go a little bit solo, because there was a sort of thing that this album doesn't have to be an all singing, all dancing, pizzazzy piece of work. It doesn't have to be the Beatles. It can be whatever you want it to be.